all, welcome back. So this is continuing with looking at the download button. So the first thing that I notice here is that when we open this CSV file, we have athlete ID, name, region, affiliate, and then all this other information. Whereas on the application itself, we only are looking at the age and the height on the axes. So that's the first thing I want to look at, is fixing that. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is this progress bar. We don't actually need this anymore, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. And now the plan for this data up here is, first of all, I noticed from my last video that I passed data into this function, but I didn't actually use that. I just used the data frame, the already parsed data frame, all over again and converted that to CSV. So that was just something extra I didn't need to do. So what we want to do is, in order to get only the columns that we want here, we're just going to instead take in a data frame. So this is going to be pandas dot data frame, and we also need to import that too. So import pandas as PD. Okay, now it's recognized. Great. So what we'll do is we want to make a list called, we'll just call this calls. Actually, let's make it a little bit more explicit. So let's say calls to include. And so this would be, what do we want? We want the name. We want the affiliate. We want the region. What else do we have here? The team. And the gender. And then we also want whatever the user is passing for the x-axis and y-axis. And what I want to do is I want to pass those into here, into this function. So pass the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, so now we have the columns. So now what we can do is we can say filtered df equals, see, this will be, yeah, okay. So it's just the data frame, and then we're limiting it to the columns that we want to include. So we could just pass a list in here. So we can say calls to include. And then we want to make a copy of that data frame. Because we don't want to actually overwrite the data frame. It's just best practice to do it that way. So filter data frame, we'll put that for the data right now. And then let's just include a little comment too. So filtering columns. Alright. So let me see, down here, okay, so we're still doing the data frame to the CSV, so we'll just do data frame now. And we also want to pass the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, so save that and bring this over. Download CSV, got an unexpected keyword. Oh, that's because I'm still calling this data here. So we'll call it data frame. And then affiliate, I just didn't spell that correctly. Okay, and then I just have to convert the filtered data frame to a CSV. So we'll say CSV equals the data frame dot to CSV. And then just call the CSV here. Okay, great. So now when we download, okay, so it's limited to just the columns that we want. Cool. Now the other thing I want to look at is I just want to make these names a little bit prettier. They're all lowercase. I'd like to capitalize them. I'd also like to, these are float values right here, when for age and height they can really just be integer values. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so we've filtered it now, so let's work on capitalize here. We'll just put a comment here for capitalize. And so the way that we're going to do this is we'll just reference the data frame that we're using. And we want to take a look at the columns. And now to do this, we can set this equal to another group of columns, which is just going to be what we already have. So we'll use a list comprehension for this, so we'll say call.capitalize, and then I need to define this, so for call in filtered df.columns. And that should be, yep, that's good for that. Okay, so then we want to also convert to int. So we want to iterate over everything, and we want to check if it's a float value right now. So we'll say for call in filtered df dot columns. So that'll get us all the columns. And then to check the type, we'll just say filtered df the call, so that'll get the actual call, and then we can use the pandas d type to be able to get the actual data type, and then we'll see if that's equal to a float 64, and then if it is, filtered df call, we'll set that equal to filtered df.call, and then oh, it's just as type. Okay, that's why it wasn't coming up in the intelligence. That always kind of scares me when it doesn't. Okay, so then that should be good. So we're already converting it to a CSV after that. So if we go ahead and run that, did I spell something wrong again? That's very likely. Capital, and then this also a method. So let's bring it back up. Okay, we've got it. Let's download the data. Take a look. Okay, so everything is displayed better, and then for the age and the height, we only have integer values here. Great. That's exactly what we wanted. Okay, so now we can move on to the fun part, making the actual zip file. We'll work on putting in the metadata and then the image Okay, so first up, we're going to need some more imports. So we'll import IO. This is going to allow us to write to a zip file. Then we'll import zip file. This is going to allow us to actually create the zip file itself. And then from datetime, import datetime. And this is going to, when we make the actual metadata itself, this is going to allow us to do that. Alright, so the first thing here is we'll create the actual buffer that we want. So we'll call this, let's tap out a little. Let's just call this zip buffer. And then this is going to be equal to io dot, right, bytes IO, and that'll allow us to start things. And then, so we want we'll make a context manager to be able to manage this. So we'll say zip file dot, and then create a zip file object, and it will first pass in the IO that we created, so that'd be the zip buffer. And then the mode that we want to put that in, you may recognize this if you've written other files, is we want to be able to write this zip file, right? So we put in a W for that. You can see in the IntelliSense it has R by default, and that's a read, so that's a read only, which we don't want. And then the third will be the compression. So for this, what we can use is a common compression mode used for zip files called zip deflated. Okay, so now we have that set up. So what we'll do is we'll grab this guy here and we'll paste him right there. And then what we do is we just say zip file dot write string CrossFit data dot CSV, and then this will just be the CSV that we have. Okay, and then on the download button that we have down here, what we're going to want is we're going to pass the buffer instead of the actual CSV data that we have. So we'll say zip, whoops, not zip file, zip buffer, and then we want to get the value that we've been putting here. And then so the file name, we'll just call this crossfitdata.zip. And then for the MIME type, we need to select zip file or an actual application file type. So we'll say application/zip. I think that's right. Oh, the last thing that we want to do here is we want to put in an actual timestamp, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste this one here, since all it's doing is we're getting the datetime.now, and then we're just setting it to the year, month, day, hour, minute, second format. Okay. Unmatched somewhere. Oh, I see what's going on here. It's because I have single quotes used throughout, so Streamlit's getting confused. So if I just change these to double quotes, save it, and then open back up, Looks like I have another error. Zip file has no attribute right string. Oh, this one is because I imported zip file. So we can't call this zip file. This has to be, we're going to say as zip underscore file. Right? So then we can put it to a variable, and then we can say zip underscore file dot write string. So if we save that, okay. So now we have the download button back. So if we download, we get a zip file, and that zip file is compressed. And if we open it up, it has the CSV data that we're expecting. So just looking at the time here, it looks like this is getting a little bit long, so I might cut this and do the metadata and the image in the next video. So thanks for watching.